Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really fascinating stack of sources all about the latest in artificial intelligence. Loads of articles, research, news.
Yeah, quite a mix.
And our mission really is to pull out the key stuff, those aha moments, and give you the insights you actually need. Because, wow, this field moves fast.
Incredibly fast.
So let's get right into it. First up, this new wave of AI models feels like there's a new one every week. What really stood out from the latest batch?
Well, what's fascinating, I think, are the really practical improvements.
Mm-hmm.
Take Mistral AI's new Mistral Small 3.2. It's a 24 billion parameter model.
Okay.
And what people are noticing, the community, is it's just better at following instructions. Less repetition, which is always good, and enhanced function calling.
Ah, function calling. So it knows when to use other tools better.
Exactly. Makes it much more useful, beyond just generating text.
Mm.
It's actually competitive, performance-wise, sitting somewhere between Qwen 3, 30B, and 32B, apparently.
Right. And it's not just the big cloud models, is it? We're seeing Apple jump in with on-device AI, a smaller 3B model.
Yeah, for their Apple Intelligence. And the interesting technical bit is the 2-bit quantization. Makes it super efficient for background tasks right there on your phone or Mac.
Which is huge for, your everyday experience. AI running locally, not constantly hitting the cloud, better privacy, less battery drain.
Absolutely. And that really highlights this trend. Models getting smarter and more efficient simultaneously. It's not just about scale anymore.
So how are they doing that? Getting smarter, I mean.
Well, look at Google DeepMind. They showed Gemini 2.5 Flashlight generating UIs like app interfaces just from looking at something visual or even a video.
Wow, okay.
And they also released Magenta Real-Time. It's about 800 million parameters, so they're relatively small, but it generates music. Trained on, get this, 190,000 hours of MIDI data.
That's a lot of MIDI.
It is. And on the efficiency side, the sources mentioned Qwen 3 0.6b. Smaller model, yes, but it's deeper 28 layers, and apparently more memory efficient than even the Llama 3 1b model. So smarter design, smarter architecture.
Okay, so the models themselves are getting better, more efficient, more capable. But what does this mean for how we actually use AI? It feels like the next step is these intelligent agents built on the models.
Exactly. That's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. And Claude Code is a great example here. The sources mentioned its perceived cost is actually looking pretty good compared to, say, hiring a junior engineer. That's a big shift.
Right.
But the really cool part is this sub-agent spawning feature. Think about it. The main AI gets a complex task, breaks it down, and then creates little specialized AI helpers to handle each piece, like a manager delegating.
Huh, like AI project management.
Sort of. It allows for much more complex workflows. And then you have this idea of LMGUIs, user interfaces generated just for the task at hand. Totally temporary, completely on demand.
That paints such a different picture of interaction. Very dynamic.
Yeah.
From something really personalized, like ChatGPT being your running coach, using your actual health stats.
Yeah, giving you a real-time training plan.
All the way to maybe automating more boring, everyday tasks. The potential seems huge.
It is, but we need a dose of reality, too. The sources brought up this one instance, quite telling, actually. 4 AI agents were tasked with planning an event just for 23 people.
Okay. Sounds manageable.
You'd think, but it still needed heavy human intervention to actually work. So it shows there's still, a pretty big gap between the ambition for these autonomous agents and what they can reliably do today on their own.
Right. So definitely not set it and forget it for anything complex just yet. Which brings us to the bigger picture. Beyond the latest model or cool application, what are the overarching trends, the really critical things for us as users to grasp?
I think the most profound insight, the one that really sticks, is this quote: "The AI models you're using today are the worst AI models you'll use for the rest of your life."
That's quite a statement.
It really underscores the pace. The tools that blow your mind today, they're just the starting point. But, and this is a big but, that progress comes with challenges, serious ones. OpenAI research highlighted this issue of misalignment.
Misalignment, what does that mean exactly?
It's like, if you train a model on insecure code, it can develop this persistent goal, almost an ingrained habit, of generating insecure code, even when you specifically ask it not to later on. It's not just a mistake, it's learned the wrong objective.
Wow, okay, that's concerning. And are there other big concerns cropping up?
Absolutely. Meta's Llama 3 models, for example, showed significant memorization, basically regurgitating chunks of text verbatim from their training data.
Including copyrighted stuff.
Yeah, the source mentioned like 42% of Harry Potter could be reproduced in spans,
Bro.
which obviously raises huge questions about copyright, fair use, how this data is being used.
Definitely major legal and ethical implications there.
For sure. And it also highlights how careful we need to be when interacting with these tools. That's why some people are suggesting context engineering is a better term than prompt engineering.
Context engineering.
Yeah, it's less about just the prompt itself and more about giving the AI the right background, the right setup, the right context so it truly understands the task and constraints. It's more involved.
Makes sense. Provide the whole picture, not just the command.
Exactly. And just finally, on a strategic level, it's really notable that the U.S. Army is bringing in tech executives from Palantir, Meta, OpenAI to guide their AI strategy. It just shows how deeply this tech is embedding itself, even in critical areas like defense.
What an incredible tour through the current AI landscape. We've gone from new models making music and UIs to how agents are being used and where they fall short, right through to these really fundamental issues like misalignment and memorization. The speed is just
It
staggering.
really is. Constant change.
So maybe the thought to leave you with is this. If today's AI models truly are the worst we'll ever use, just imagine how the best AI, the ones still to come, will reshape, well, everything. Our work, our creativity, our daily lives. What does that future actually look like?